Hey everyone, it's time again to recap the latest news from the solar PV industry, compiled by the American Solar Energy Society. I'm Jay Warmke with SolarPVTraining.com, and this is what's happening in the wonderful world of solar for the week of February 8th. Now, despite the culture war narrative, it appears that conservative voters overwhelmingly support the use of solar energy. Conservative renewables advocacy group Energy Right recently surveyed 861 voters who identified themselves as conservative on the topic of energy affordabilities, including solar PV. In nearly every category, 50% of the respondents or greater indicated that they would support solar development, especially if it benefited local agriculture, the economy in general, the energy infrastructure, or affected energy pricing. 58% they said they would support increased solar development, 25% opposed it, and 17% were unsure. This tracks with results from a similar poll conducted by First Solar, where they polled 800 Republicans, Republican-leaning independents, and Trump voters. A slight majority of these voters, 51%, said that they favored utility solar energy. 30% opposed it, and 19% didn't take any position on it at all. 62% of those surveyed said that the government should not interfere with landowners' rights to develop solar on their own property. When asked their preference for nearby land development, only 47% approved of a nearby solar utility system, but this compares with 26% who approved of nearby housing developments, 14% who said they would like a nuclear reactor located near them, 8% said they would like to see natural gas developed near them, and only 5% said they would like to live anywhere near an industrial park. Now, according to the 2025 Long-Term Reliability Assessment Report released on January 29th by the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, or NERC, the electric grid faces growing reliability risks over the next decade as demand growth threatens to overwhelm the grid. The annual reliability assessment serves as a snapshot of grid adequacies over the coming decade. The survey projects that summer peak demand could surge by 224 gigawatts. That's 69% more than was projected in 2024. Winter demand could surge even higher by 245 gigawatts, a 65% increase over what they projected last year. According to NERC, compound annual growth rates for summer and winter peak demand are the highest ever projected since tracking started in 1995. Artificial intelligence, data centers, and the digital economy account for most of the projected load growth, but the report also identifies the electrification of large industrial facilities, electrified transportation, crypto mining, heat pump deployment, and demographic trends as primary demand drivers. According to NERC's Capacity and Energy Risk Assessment, 13 of 23 assessment areas will face resource adequacy challenges over the next 5 years. By 2030, at least 5 regions could face high risk. These include the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, or MISO, PJM Interconnection, the Electrical Reliability Council of Texas, and the Western Electricity Coordinating Council's Basin and Northwest subregions. The game of solar whack-a-mole continues as the U.S. Department of Commerce is nearing the end of its investigation on solar panels from India, Indonesia, and Laos. Solar panels from China first faced significant U.S. tariffs in 2012 when the Obama administration imposed anti-dumping and countervailing duties averaging around 31 to 36%. Chinese manufacturers then moved operations to Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam to avoid those tariffs. In 2025, the Commerce Department found that panels imported from those nations violated the same anti-dumping provisions and imposed tariffs on those panels as well. So, allegedly, Chinese manufacturers simply moved production to India, Indonesia, and Laos. And so it goes. In 2024, the U.S. imported approximately 56% of all panels installed nationwide. The vast majority of these were imported from Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia and Cambodia. In related news, the U.S. this week announced that it's reached a trade agreement with India that should reduce the tariffs placed on Indian imports. Few details were actually provided, but news reports say the United States is lowering India's export tariff to 18%. It was previously as high as 50%. It's unclear whether this agreement will affect the anticipated solar panel anti-dumping penalties. A new bill filed in the Missouri State Senate on January 7th seeks to suspend all solar project construction throughout the state under a moratorium until the beginning of 2028, so 2 years. Introduced by and sponsored by Senator Cindy O'Laughlin, a Republican serving rural northeastern Missouri and currently serving as the state body's president pro tem. The bill would halt construction on all solar projects throughout the state, as well as place a hold on issuing any new permits for solar projects. Enphase Energy announced that they plan to start manufacturing their IQ bidirectional EV charging platform at volume in the fourth quarter of this year, following a series of successful product demonstrations. The Enphase charger connects to the direct current port of the EV, charging the vehicle, but it's also capable of using EV battery to provide energy backup to the home during grid outages. The bidirectional charger has been tested on U.S. and European electric vehicles. The system is engineered to work with residential and light commercial single-phase and three-phase energy systems. It's developed to follow bidirectional standards, including UL 1741, IEEE 1547 within the United States, and open communication standards such as ISO 15118-20 to support vehicle interoperability and standards-based vehicle-to-home and vehicle-to-grid functionality for all compatible vehicles. And that's the news from the solar industry for this week. We'll see you next week.